All right, welcome back, everyone. Today is half shaft reinstallation day. After getting the engine in, I'm trying to bring you along with me. As you can see here, I got the driver's side in. I did decide not to do this on video because it took me a little while. But whenever I reinstalled this, if you can imagine a U, an upside down U, and then the bottom of the clip is open down here. That's how it has to be installed. The U has to be upside down on the thing, on the inboard into the shaft. When I put it in, I just kind of twisted it back and forth, left and right, to get it between the teeth, and lifted slightly, and it just popped right in there. So the inboard part of the half shaft is in there. Now we got to deal with this outboard part. So pull. Oh, this is gonna take some strength. Kind of angle it in. There we go. And then when it's coming back in, kind of wiggle it so the teeth line up. There it goes, and it pops right through. All right, she's through all the way. That's one. And then get this tie rod end up here. Get this thing back into place. I moved this out of the way just to make life a little bit easier on me. I'll look at the torque specs and torque these down correctly. I just want to make sure everything goes back together. Okay. Now as far as these are fun. See if I can get this thing rotated. There we go. I got new nuts because I didn't feel good about the old ones, and they were only like $2 or $3 at the Toyota dealership. So I got brand new nuts for these. I don't think I messed up the threads too much when I did this last time. I see a little bit of damage, but mostly it was just twisting them off. But we're gonna put some, probably some silicone spray on here, maybe some lithium grease to help reduce the friction, but we'll deal with that in a minute. But this thing is out finally. Half shaft is out, or I'm sorry, this thing is back in. It was hard getting it out. So we're gonna switch to the other side right now. Throw the light over there. Oh. Now, if you'll remember, the passenger side has this collar right here. And we'll get our screws here in a second. But what we can do is tell you what, you can see there's rust here on this collar. So let me get some silicone spray. It's white lithium. Here's our silicone. This will help slide it in. WD-40 can work too, but I bought this specifically for another car. Didn't really use it that much, so. Can't hurt to put a little bit of it on there, help, slide it in, a little bit of lube, get the action going there. All right. Also, what I've been doing is to help things out a little bit. I've been taking some of my old transmission oil. In fact, let me take my glove off for this, and I've just been putting a little bit right on the edge. I already measured everything out, and I took a photo of my bottle, so I know I'm at 3.5 quarts or 3 quarts, excuse me, 3 quarts that need to go back in. There we go. Just get these into the teeth, helps reduce friction. A little bit of dirty oil won't hurt. We're about to put 3 quarts of Toyota transmission oil back in, but this will help the reinstallation procedure. All right. Let's see, there is an orientation, so that there's a top and bottom screw. Yeah, there's definitely, okay, so right here, get the light, you see a little pin. The pin is at the top, and that'll help you orient it. So, pins at the top, there we go. Try to keep the support on it, so you don't rip this boot from its weight. Oh, come on. Luckily this one does not have a C-ring, so once you get it into the transmission, it just slides in. At least that's the theory. There we go. There we go. Now, index this and punch. There it is. Okay, that's it. She's in. Okay. Same procedure. Pull, turn, oh, goodness. Stab it through, align the teeth, kind of wiggle it, and she's through. Done. Whew. Hard, but really, in reality, it's easy. Let me put some WD-40 on that, that's rusty. All right. I need to go find my bolts for that collar. I'm gonna look up torque specs on this, probably hit it with some lithium or W40 or silicone. Figure out what some of these connectors do. Need to make sure I didn't miss something on the engine, and I'll come back to you. These torque specs say 66, at least it did on the previous generation Scion. I haven't found torque specs pretty much anything for the second gen, 2011 and up, and especially not for 2014 in case anything changed, which I don't think it did. But these were 66 on the first gen. I'm doing 75 just to make sure. It's steel on steel, so there's no chance of it stripping out. So, okay. Those were 17s, as well as this tie rod end connector is a 17 as well. This is 36 foot-pounds of torque, so it's aluminum, so don't mess that up. This is just one of the Harbor Freight specials, so when it hits 75, it pops. So here we go. There it is, popped, 75. Gotta grab onto something. Popped, 75. Trying again. 75. Okay, making sure. Okay, 75. All right. Now, I want to do this tie rod nut. So, let's bring this down. There. Let's make sure. 36. All right. Might be a little bit harder in here. There we go. There, 36. Not much torque on these. Okay, so that's the suspension tie rod end. We're cooking now. Okay, on the brakes. Here we go. Very good. This will take a while. That's as far as you can go, isn't it? Hold on, I'm gonna push down. Ready? Got it. Got it. One more time. Push hard. Got it. 159, right there. Okay. Now, to the other side. And repeat. Brakes. There. Okay. Hard on the brakes. Ready? Here we go. One more. 159. They're torqued. Today, out here doing a little bit of cleanup before assembling a little bit more stuff. We're gonna put the alternator and exhaust on today, and maybe do some fluids. So today, what I've been doing is I've been taking good old blaster. It's not PB blaster, it's just blaster. Multi-purpose lubricant. I've been spraying it onto this rusty water pump, sanding it. All right. Oh yeah, nice and smooth now. Excellent. All right, so now I am going to install my alternator and get the exhaust bolted in. All right. Tightening. Before I finish it off with the wires and stuff, I'm actually going to clamp this bottom hose. Otherwise it'll be nearly impossible to get it with the wire loom in the way. So I'm going to clamp that hose, clamp this hose, Then we're gonna take this wiring harness, clip it there, and connect it to the alternator and AC compressor. So that is what we're gonna do next. And once that's done, I think we can move on to the exhaust, getting the exhaust manifold remounted to the engine block, and then doing the S-pipe to the bottom of the manifold. So let's get to it. 2, 3, and 4. This stays on the outside of the oil dipstick, goes to the bottom. All right, let's find our bolts. $27. Manifold is back on. Done. All right. There we go, 32. And that's secure. Next thing, getting the intake back in, and then battery, fuse box cover, fluids, start. First things first, this one's easy. Okay, so I had to figure out how it goes. It goes ramping up with the non-threaded ends to here. This is the battery tray, pointy ends towards the car, lifted up underneath a wiring harness, which we'll attach to this later. Okay. 2 more bolts. Solid. All right. Next, we get to hug an intake. Tell you what, let's put the base of the airbox in. That way we know what we're doing. So that will come in like that. That's how it's supposed to come in. Cooling, 6 quarts. A similar high-quality ethylene glycol-based non-silicate, non-amine, non-nitrate, and non-borate coolant with long-life hybrid organic acid technology. There you go, from Toyota. I am filling up the coolant system as well as the reservoir. According to the owner's manual, the 2014 Scion TC takes 6 quarts, so that's 1.5 gallons. Anyways, so what's interesting is I've already filled this up, and it came up all the way to the full line, and it just dropped right in. These radiators don't have radiator caps. It's almost a closed system. Obviously, you can't have a closed system, but it only goes through the intake right here, through the overflow tank. So I'm filling it up. I'm going to use 1.5 gallons here. $32 fuel pump. So 32 shows to be First one of the stack of 4. Got my money's worth out of that. So here we go. Test number 1. Okay, it's 1. That's 2. I'm only going to do it 3 times. That's it. We're done. Okay. System is primed. Awesome. Not starting day quite yet. What I'm done is replace my serpentine belt or accessory belt. This is the Gates Micro V belt, KO60494, and it went on there perfectly. Okay, we're back today, and hopefully today is the day that we not only start this car, but we actually get it moving as well. So this morning already I've kind of cleaned up around the car, came over here and I put the passenger side front wheel back on, put the fuel pump fuse back in, but I've kept the battery disconnected for now. So we can button that up. I'm going to put the wheel on, driver's side on, after we fill the transmission with 3 quarts of brand new fluid. I finally got it in, and we're also going to replace the oil filter because I did not have the tool. So oil filter's right there. So that is what we're going to do. Oil, transmission fluid. We got the fuel pump fuse back in, so we should be able to start this thing today. And with fingers crossed and any luck, we should be able to drive it around the neighborhood at slow speeds. What I did do today as well is I reinstalled the 2 front bumper bolts. And I zip tied the hanging plastic down here that got destroyed so it won't, you know, grind against the ground. So this thing can go for like a low speed run, 20 to 30 miles an hour tops. And plus it has no plates, and my inspection, or the previous inspection, is out. So I don't want to mess with any cops today either. So that's what we're going to do today. Start, run, hopefully drive to make sure everything works, no leaks. If that works, then we're on to body work. So stay tuned. Here we go. The materials we need today to get this thing running is right here in my hand. I bought 4 quarts of these ATFWS OEM Toyota transmission fluid on Amazon. It was about 40 shipped, so about $10 a quart. Over here we have a 10-pack of Toyota YZZ-A1 filters. Now these are backwards compatible. I think the owner's manual or whatever I looked up said like the A2s, but these fit just fine, and the reviews on Amazon confirm it. Some guy's a 2015 Scion TC, he used these, got a 10-pack of these for 10 bucks. And then this is a oil filter wrench from AutoZone. Now this is the cheap one, it's 10 bucks, and there's been a lot of reviews that this nut will actually snap off with over torquing. And so I'm hoping it doesn't break today. Not for impact use, obviously. The big black heavy duty steel ones are like 25, so I'm hoping we can go a little bit cheap today and just use this one and take care of it and make it last. But first thing we're doing this morning is throwing away this old crappy filter from 10 years ago, or a funnel. It broke, so we're done with it. This is a 13/16 inch bolt. It's out. Got to run up through the engine bay, try to keep this thing as straight as possible. Well, not straight as possible, but like downhill as possible. So we're gonna go and start filling. All right, we're gonna have to let gravity do its thing. It's just, this hose is just, it's terrible. It's terrible. And tight. Okay, that's it for the transmission. Let's try again. I might have to get a breakover bar. Ah, there we go. Whew. Man, oh man. All right, so we need to put the wheel back on, get it on the ground so all the fluids are level, and I believe we are going to start, or at least try to. All we need to do now is reconnect the battery. The battery's reconnected. I'm gonna prime the fuel system. It's 1, 2. Almost checked to see if it was in neutral. Yeah. 3. Cross your fingers. Oh, that's my fault. So hold on. There we go. There we go. She's running. She's shaking. Let's just, she hasn't run in a long time. Let her do her thing. She's running. We are going, brakes look good, we're gonna put it into drive. We're in drive. I can just creep it out. I don't want this smoking up my garage. Those are the brakes, these are awful. Well, she goes into drive. I'm in reverse. Reverse works too. I'm gonna stop right there. Let that smoke burn off. Need the stuff to burn off. But so far, it's running. It's running, no leaks. Let's get under here again. Nope, not a drop, which is fantastic. We did it. We did it, guys. Here, let's buckle you in. We're just gonna go around the neighborhood, but safety first. All right, drive. And, oh, you know what? I don't have my windshield wipers hooked up. Yeah. Well, the brakes haven't been used in a really long time, so. Let's try to. Oh, that sounds awful. They need to be. Daddy. Yeah.
It's blind.
Well, yeah, it's daytime. Yeah, we got a problem with our right brake.
He sounds like a choo-choo train.
He does, and that's not how a car is supposed to sound, is it? Yeah, we got something wrong with the right brake.
It's supposed to go like.
First thing, we know, or I know what the squeaking was, and it's been fixed. So this metal shield on behind the rotor, apparently when I was putting my axle nuts back on, I was grabbing that to keep it from moving. And when I was cranking down, it actually bent it in towards the rotor. So just bent it back out. The car is super quiet now. So it has been a long journey to get to this point. I can't believe I drove it today. That is just absolutely incredible. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.